Hey everybody, welcome back to When Words Fail Music Speaks podcast, where we fight depression with the power of music. I am your handicapped host, James Cox, and I have another interview today. It's a great guy, great dude. So we're gonna talk to him in a minute. But he is known as MARQ Electronica. His name is
Yeah,
Mark Dixon. I'm not sure if I was allowed to say your
yeah,
first.
it's Mark Dickinson's my real name, but I
Okay,
go
nice.
by Mark
Yeah.
Electronica for my music because that's what I basically do.
Right. Yeah, right, exactly. Well, first, welcome to the show, first of all. And
Thank you.
and your name is Mark Electronica, but you spell Mark with a Q, MARQ Electronica.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice, nice. So that your name is Mark and play electronica, so I guess you just smash them together and say, hey, which is
yeah. That's what I start. Yeah, that's exactly how I started. I was doing electronica, and then I moved into more house music and dance music.
right.
Uh, and I still have an electronica edge in a lot of my music now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when I was researching you, you played in a lot of bands, and I
Mm.
don't think it was till the pandemic where you just said I want to start on my own. Is that kind of the sort of
Definitely, yeah, that's it. Definitely, I just found I was I was stuck creatively. There were things I wanted to say and things I wanted to do, but there wasn't much to do because we couldn't leave the house.
yeah, yeah, at all, and there was many musicians that I would imagine that musicians would love it because most of them, not all of them, have their own studio there and everything, so they can make music for whenever they wanted to. I
Yeah,
guess
luckily I was in that position.
okay, so you have a home studio, right?
A modest home studio. I still go to a recording studio to get things mixed and mastered professionally. Otherwise, it might not sound as polished as I'd like.
Right. Yeah. So, but you are from Teesside. Is that in England?
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
Originally Teesside. I live in Tyne Wear, Newcastle now.
Yeah. When I looked that up, so that's the northeast of England.
Yes,
Okay.
beautiful part of the country.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't think I might have had an artist from England, but I can't remember. So excuse me, past PS. But England has a lot of great music there. Okay. So
Definitely.
what? Definitely, yes, sir. So okay, so what genre is most appreciated in England over there? The
I
most
would say a lot
than
of the time,
anything.
especially in the Northeast, it tends to be rock and metal music that I hear a lot of.
Okay,
But I think we're quite open to a lot of genres and we're quite creative. There's a real grime scene here that's really good, and a lot of rap that's growing up in the Northeast that's quite fantastic. And I've worked with a couple of the local rappers, and it's a really good scene. I just wish there was a bit more of the house and the dance music in my
right.
local area.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I've been watching YouTube and TV and everything, but I hear a lot of American artists from America come over to England, and they're treated nothing but with respect, and I love that for them.
Yes.
And I love that for the UK folks over there, which is really nice because I want to be able to come to a country, and be appreciated just as much as I appreciate you and them.
Well, yes. Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. So I guess that's very cool for y'all to, appreciate us just as much as we appreciate you, you know.
Well,
Um,
yeah, in the local area, we have a few venues that do multi-genre nights.
right.
So I was on stage one night doing all this epic house music and dance music in between a heavy metal band that were like roaring and screaming.
Yeah.
And before that, there'd been a young girl who you could hardly hear playing the guitar. And then they had another metal band. And so it was full of metalheads. They were all really, moshing like that. And
Yeah.
I ended up going on stage thinking, they're going to eat me alive. But they were
Right.
dancing and enjoying it. I did three encores and was like, flipping heck, this is crazy. I don't believe this. It was great.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That,
it's open to all sorts of music in the Northeast.
yeah, there's a lot of bad publicity around metalheads and the genre of metal, but I always say it's angry people it's angry music for happy people, So that's
Yes,
we're getting.
definitely.
Yeah, so I don't know why metal gets a bad rap. I guess it's revolves around Satan, and but that's not what we do, in metal. So
Mm. I think the music at concerts from metal, it just flows through you and it creates an amazing feeling.
it does.
The same with dance music, but I do feel that there is I think because some of the subject matter that's covered in a lot of metal music, it can be quite dark, so people associate it with that. Well, I've got a lot of friends who work in metal and work in rock.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracies for metal too. But okay, so let's talk about the type of music you make though. So since we're on, figured it's only safe to say, but electronica, right? So
Yeah.
okay, so how does electronica um how is that different from EDM? Because I know they're kind of the
Well,
same, but a lot of times they're not. So can you? Because
I don't know. I mean, EDM, it was born out of electronica, really.
okay,
Electronica is the basis for a lot of dance music. The same as R&B is sort of influenced it as well. Um, I would say electronica has a more industrial and sometimes quite a hard and synthetic feel to it because it is all synthetic sounds and a lot of samples that can be used as well in it. I mean, I've gone to electronic music open mic nights where they have other artists that do some completely bizarre sounding things. It's more of a soundscape than a song and it creates a feeling like impressionist music, not, it's just fantastic. And that's what I started off doing. But I found I was leaning more in towards the melodic kind of thing, like house music and dance music, because it's something I love and I like the reaction I got from the audiences when I performed it too. I had people dancing and enjoying themselves, and I thought that's what I want to promote:
yeah,
enjoyment and harmony. Even though some of my subject matter can be a little political or a little heavy sometimes, I like the juxtaposition between heavy subject matter and the upbeat sound of the music.
yeah. Well, I guarantee you, we won't talk anything about politics here. We're not a political podcast here, brother. So it's all
I
right.
know you said that, yeah.
Right? Yeah, we talked about it before. We went
Yeah.
on and I don't do politics and neither do you. And I think that musicians have a place in politics, but not so much that they are like very, very much outspoken, because it
Yeah, I
influence
mean,
the whole atmosphere of music.
I think we have a responsibility as artists to try and highlight things that we're worried about and concerned about, which is more what I tend to do. So I've done songs that are related to relationships and abuse. I've done songs that are related to our cost of living crisis, and how difficult it can be to manage sometimes. But that's mainly it. A lot of my songs tend to be about love and about the feeling you get from dancing as well. So it's quite diverse, you
Yeah.
know. Mm.
Well, your album, Savage Times, came out in 2022, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I guess it's your recent single, Next to Nothing, is about is about Savage Times, really. I mean, because I think I read in your little uh uh bio that the song is about having like people are buying stuff and they're wealthy, but they're still buying under their means rate. I
It's
think I
more
like
about being people working hard, not being able to pay for the basics.
right, right, yeah,
Personally, I was at a point where do I buy toilet roll or do I buy food? Where am I at? I got to points like that at one point,
yeah,
and I thought this is quite frustrating considering I'm holding down two jobs, and it can be quite tough. And then I realized, well, a lot of people are going through that, and I was quite dissatisfied with the way the country was going. So I wrote a lot of songs about people being overworked, a lot of songs about people being in love, but a lot of songs are about people not being able to trust the people who are leading them and worrying and feeling disillusioned. But then most of the tracks, when you listen to the music, are quite upbeat.
yeah, yeah.
The lyrics that make you go, "Oh, hang on a bit, what's going on here?" You know.
It's
But,
confusing, but I love it, you know. Yeah.
but yeah, that's what that one's about. It's all about the difficulties I had financially a few years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think everybody suffered that time, that savage time when I mean the COVID hit, you know. And there was yeah,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I used to supplement my day job with singing jobs, and I couldn't do that. And it was really difficult throughout COVID.
yeah,
And it was also like therapy going out doing the singing and performing in the pubs and clubs for people.
right.
And then I'd come home and I'd relax at the end of the night, and all my troubles from the week would have vanished. But I didn't have that
Yeah,
when COVID hit, and I didn't have the income, so it was difficult.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I know most artists or comedians did online shows, you know. Because
yeah,
I've attended a few virtual reality comedy shows and concerts, you know. Um,
fantastic.
did that ever come to your mind as a musician to hold virtual shows for you? And
I was going to start doing it and had the idea to do it as a regular thing. But during COVID, I'm also a carer for my parents. So I had to drive through. I was allowed as a registered carer to drive through to their house and care for them during COVID because my mum has dementia and my dad had COPD before he died, God rest his
yeah,
soul.
yeah,
And so I spent a lot of time caring for them, along with other members of my family who would pop in, like my brother. So there was my brother and I who would go in at separate times and look after them. And that took away a lot of my time from performing as much as I'd like to because my parents were my main priority. So I focused on getting my songs right and getting the music to the level where I wanted it to be before I could go out and promote it. I did a few live shows and I'm starting to do a few more. I'm going to try and do like half an hour to an hour every Sunday on TikTok
yeah.
um, now to try and sort of do it. I did one the other week and that was quite well received. I was quite pleased. So
Nice.
I'm going to keep doing that. A mixture of covers and originals. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I keep hearing a lot of times people come in mainly for covers, and you need to got throw in one or two originals just to make them. Oh wait, this guy can really do this, you know? Yeah,
Yeah, I think by doing covers it it gives something familiar to the audience, so they've got a handhold into the original stuff as well. And it's also tracks I enjoy. So I could be doing something like a track by Gorgon City called "Ready for Your Love," which was a massive deep house track, and then I could be doing something from the '80s, and then some of my own music, and they love it, which is great. It's good fun.
speaking of the 80s, what's your favorite era of music? You know?
For me, I would say late '90s because you
Okay.
had dawn of um, um, acid house music, no,
Yeah.
acid jazz music, which brought in a lot of '70s funk and a lot of '70s jazz, but mixed it up a little bit with a bit of a modern feel. So you had bands like Jamiroquai and the Brand New Heavies come out, and I was really into that vibe. I thought I loved the positivity of it as well. But then you also had the dawn of house music in the late '80s, and it was really growing up. And then you had the R&B as well, which I loved. So artists like Mary J. Blige and Jeanne, and when Police came out towards the end of that era, towards the 2000s, I was like, wow. Groups like NERD, I love all of that. So yeah, that's my era, the late '90s, mid to late '90s.
Yeah. Okay. So when I went to this is this is the last question about COVID I have for you. I'm so sorry if I ask you enough for COVID stuff. But when you sat down to write your first original track during COVID, what emotions or image did you want to tell the world that you were living in at that time of COVID?
At that time, I'd had a friend who was going through a lot in a pretty difficult relationship, and they just got out of it and started to live the life when COVID hit. And so we'd ring and we'd talk all the time. And I just felt so frustrated for her, but pleased that she got out of that situation.
Yeah.
So I wrote a song called I'm Waking Up to You, which started off with loads of orchestral sounds because I managed to find a sample pack that was of a band that I've always loved called the Freemasons. They do the mixed disco with house music and funk and electronica to a point where it's always this elevated sound and quite epic. So I thought, great, I want to do something with that. And that led me into writing the rest of the album.
Yeah.
And she loved the track, and she said, "Don't mention my name on it though, because I don't want my husband to find out about it." I went, "All right, well,
Okay.
but, so I didn't do that, and she shall still remain nameless to this day.
Mm,
But yeah, she was the inspiration for that track.
yeah. And I see that you're Eurythmics fan. I love
Oh, definitely
Eurythmics.
love Eurythmics.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like
wish.
Here Comes the Rain Again. What's your favorite Eurythmics track?
But I mean, it's got to be Sweet Dreams. The one that everybody in the mother's covered.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's top tier to me. Yeah. What about you?
I would say that one, or Here Comes the Rain Again. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness,
Yeah.
love that. And the Freemasons did a remix of that. So
Okay. Yeah.
next level. That I feel elevated the track in an area that I didn't think they could do, but it was fantastic. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Annie Lennox had a fantastic solo career, but I wish to God
Oh,
they would come back as the Eurythmics and just kick ass all the way, across town.
yeah. I mean, they did some amazing tracks. She had quite a soulful voice,
Mm,
didn't she, as well? And
yeah,
an amazing range and a lyrical quality to her voice. It was beautiful.
right.
And Dave Stewart's from Tyne and Wear, so yeah, where I live now. So
Yeah.
they're the guys band. So yes,
Well, maybe they'll come back one day and then when we can both see them. Who knows, right?
you
That'd
never
be
know.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
his daughter does music now. Mm.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Um, okay. So earlier you said you had a makeshift studio at your house.
Yes,
Um, So for people who want to do like a makeshift to get started on any kind of music, um, what would you recommend? And what is your studio ritual? I mean, do you have coffee first? Do you warm up with your instruments first? I mean, what does it look like to
right. For
you?
me, my
Yeah.
ritual is I get I get a copy of Red Bush. I get a huge cup like this,
Oh,
full of Red
nice.
Bush.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
massive, full of Red Bush tea and a big bottle of water. I'll have a bar of chocolate, and then I'll just sit there with the door closed, and I'll just start looking through all the sample pads I've got, all the samples I've got, looking at the drum beats, looking at different soundscapes,
Mm,
and then thinking about what that evokes in me, what that feeling is creates, and then I'll edit them and change them, and create my music. You asked about the different packs I use. I tend to go onto websites where you can download sample packs, which can even have construction kits, which you can set out a basic layer of a song on. But I tend to not. I tend to steer away from that. I try to create my own stuff using different samples from different packs,
right.
and then otherwise you're going to just sound exactly like something that someone else has written.
Right.
And then I use a thing called Magix, which my partner bought me years ago, and I only really got into during COVID. And I learned a bit before COVID from my bandmates in a band I was in called Sapient Trace. And we used to he used to bring his laptop and do a lot of stuff on Logic Pro, which is the one a lot of people use for home studios and for even recording studios. And I learned a lot from him and about sampling and about editing and moving things around and arranging your own songs. So then I thought in lockdown I'll have a go myself,
Mm.
and now it's what I tend to do more than anything, more than anything
Right.
else. It's like, do you fancy coming out for a drink? No, I'm just finishing this song. I'm so antisocial.
Right, I don't have time for that song. I'll get there, but hold on just a minute, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Terrible.
I'm too busy, man. I need a break from life.
Exactly.
Yeah, right, yeah, yeah. Because it seems to be like my mind, I gotta focus on one or two things. I'm not
Yeah.
here or there. Um, but I do drink a lot of coffee, which helps me a lot. But I drink a little bit too much coffee, so I'm reeling back on coffee and drinking a lot of water. I don't know. I get too many headaches.
I was terrible for that. I had a colleague where I worked who had this coffee called Red Hot Java Lava, and
Mm.
after 3 cups, he was singing daft songs and making no sense at all he was singing "I'm a Little Teapot, Short and Stout" and doing all the moves in the office. And my colleague and I looked at him and thought, "Hang on, you're running a construction site. What are you doing?"
Oh man.
It was completely strange. So he laid off the coffee for a bit, but I don't have caffeine anymore. Otherwise, yeah, I would be a caffeine fiend, a coffee
Or like,
fiend. Yeah.
well, so I guess it's just water with lemon in it, or like what's your go-to, to help your voice out
Um,
for sure.
I like a northern drink called Vimto.
Okay.
It's
Me
really
too.
it's like a mixed fruit cordial, and you put that in with some water. Or I have red bush tea, which is naturally full of antioxidants. It's really good for you, but it also is naturally caffeine free. And a lot of people I know go, "Oh, can I try it?" And they go, "Oh, that's disgusting," but I love it.
That's great. That's great to you, right? Yeah, yeah. Um, okay, so this is a really important question that I just thought of. Um, so a lot of people aren't interested in one genre as opposed to the other. You get
Mm,
country folks that don't listen to rap or metal, okay, or electronica, right?
yeah.
So how would you say that people should at least just listen to electronica to get their mind out of the no, I will not listen to that, kind of
I,
vibe.
I think it's finding a vibe and a song and being open to it. Because I mean, I was very much into like dance music and soul music and nothing else. But I went with friends to see a band called Skunk and Nancy before they became famous,
Yeah,
and they blew me away. I was like, wow, this is really good. And I could appreciate the musicality and a lot of the music. Bought some of their albums. The same with Muse. I love them as well. But I think it's about not limiting yourself because there's some music that you might not have heard. I had some learners when I was teaching that haven't heard any classical music. And when I played some of it, um, I got them to sit and listen like I had to this track by Claude Debussy. And I said, I want you to just think about what it reminds you of. Just write down words or draw pictures to tell me what it reminds you of. And they're like, oh, and they got exactly what it was about.
yeah,
It was about this creature in the woods seeing these people there that he wasn't supposed to see. And it was they got exactly the vibe that Claude Debussy was trying to get. And they were like, wow, that blew me away, man. I didn't know.
yeah,
And I think keeping yourself open to other genres of music is great. I mean, I wasn't a massive country music fan, but
yeah.
some of it just blows me away.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like was it "Need You Now" and some of Shania Twain's music, and then some of the Bonnie Raitt stuff, some of her
right.
early music. Oh, "I Can't Make You Love Me" by her is just achingly beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I think there's music in every genre that I think resonates with everyone. They've just got to find the right song.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Because back when I was a teenager years ago, I'm 45 right now. um, yeah, 45. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow, that's amazing. You look
Yeah,
good for
like,
45. Have you got
thank
a
you.
filter on? That's crazy.
No, no, no filter here, buddy. Yeah, but when I was like 16, 17, right? All I listened to was Metallica metal music. I wouldn't do nothing else. Before then, my mom and dad raised me on country music. I slowly
Yeah.
came back to that genre, and now that's my favorite genre ever. But
Yeah, I think have one that you love. Yeah.
right, yeah. But since my college years, I started listening to everything. And that's what made me start this podcast. Is I just wanted to find out more from the actual musician and
Yeah.
get them known and find out more music that I can listen to also.
Yeah. I mean, I listened to a lot of drum and bass recently, and I've always liked it, but not really been into it. And then I've been getting into a lot more of that, and it's quite. I just think some of it's fantastic, and it really gets you going and gets you wanting to move and stuff. But then I listened to artists like Goldfrapp, which the first album, Felt Mountain, was just breathtaking. She's been trained as an opera singer, and he had all these different sounds from the 70s and the 60s mixed with electronica, and it was just fantastic. And now she's doing a lot more electronic music, and it's really good.
Right. Yeah. Amazing. Did you do a hip hop charity album at one time?
No, it wasn't hip hop. It was I did an album where I worked with other artists, and it was trip hop. So
Trip
trip
hop,
hop,
yes, yes, trip
it's more
hop.
like groups like Massive Attack
Right.
and people like that,
Yeah.
and Tricky. It's like a laid back vibe, but it's a bit moody and dark sometimes. But it's also, I mean, do you remember Unfinished Sympathy by Massive Attack with Shara Nelson? That's a massive song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Tina Turner covered it. Yeah,
Right.
and it's that genre of music, and I think it lends itself to a sort of melancholy feeling
Yeah.
or a sort of a thoughtful vibe. And I found I'm moving into that direction with some of my tracks. So I've actually written some ballads, which I never thought I'd do, which have got that kind of like thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's really good to not limit yourself, but I think you've got to be careful about if you've got a brand, are you moving too far away from that so you'll alienate your audience?
Right.
That's a worry.
Yeah, you don't want to go too far, because there's bands like that just start out I don't know if you heard of Ice Nine Kills, but they're a band that started as punk and they're strictly like metal now, which just totally did a 180 and just said and they're great, they were great then, but they're great, they're just still great now, even though they moved to another genre.
And it's lucky if they've still got the fans because when you think about it, sometimes it can make people go nah. And there are
Yeah,
purists that are a bit
yeah.
stuck in their groove, aren't there? I think sometimes it's good to diversify, though. I think.
Right, yeah. Because like I tell everybody, fans will know what BS there is, and if you're not true with the fans, they're
Yes,
they're not gonna do nothing for you. So
that's it exactly. I think you've got to be genuine with what you're doing, and I
yeah,
think I believe in my music,
yeah,
but I think a lot of the time I hold myself back because I have very low self-esteem issues and issues around my own kind of like mindset sometimes. So it
right,
can be quite difficult. But then I see a lot of artists that go out and they really love the music and they're doing really well. Then I
yeah,
see other artists are just going through the motions, and I think, no, your song deserves better than that,
yeah,
and
right,
that annoys me sometimes. But that's just me.
right, yeah. Well, that would be me too. But to go back on that trip hop album, that was a charity for the homelessness, right?
Yeah, Musicians
Okay.
Against
Yeah.
Homelessness. I'd
Okay.
organised a gig through Musicians Against Homelessness
Okay.
just before COVID, and I got to know some of the bands there. There was one called Axels that were doing quite well in the region, and I invited them. I invited a a very sort of punk orientated group called the Floral Detectives, and then this really strange, almost like witch house kind of creepy sounding group called Holy Grail that were just fantastic.
Yeah.
The showmanship was amazing. And then my band was on, Sapien Trace, and we were a bit like a sort of metal meets dubstep kind of band.
Yeah. That sounds awesome.
That's yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's
So
what
that's
they
what
can
I'm
do.
moving for.
Right,
Mm.
right. So that Musicians Against Homelessness, is that a yearly thing or was that just a one-off charity?
No, it's still around.
Okay, okay,
I was wanting to do another gig for them actually. I want to try and maybe get in touch with them
okay.
because I really enjoyed doing that gig, but I didn't raise as much as I wanted to.
Yeah,
And Conrad from one of the bands got in touch with me, and Axel started sort of drifting apart and doing their own thing.
yeah,
And he formed another band called The Last of the Fallen Angels, and so he got me and another singer involved, and we released a song that wow, I'm really really proud of.
yeah,
And then he asked me if I wanted to work on the album, so I wrote a song with him for it. He did the music, I did the lyrics, because that's the way I tend to roll most of the time with other artists.
right.
Um, I just sort of said, "What kind of vibe do you want to create?" And we wrote this song called Orpheus, and it didn't get out there as much as some of the other songs on the album did, because you had artists like Rowetta who sang on the Happy Mondays, who were massive in the '90s, and then you had artists like Brinsley Ford from Aswad, who was big in the '90s, and then you also had Peter Hook on the album, who was in New Order, who were a massive band all over the world,
Right.
and they're quite electronic. Um, and it was just quite sobering, quite humbling to be working on an album where those artists were. I just was sorry I didn't get to meet them. But
Yeah.
yeah, all the tracks on that album were fantastic. And I think to put in all that work and then race and let it all go to someone else was really generous of Conrad and the artists that were involved. I found that a really good experience that people gave up the time for something they believed in, like supporting the homeless.
Yeah. Going back to you working with New Order, which is great by the way. Congratulations for that band. Oh man, that's
I
awesome.
didn't work with them.
Oh,
Conrad did. They
oh,
worked on one of the songs on the album. I worked on a different song
okay.
because with it
So,
being during COVID, it was all done remotely.
oh, so you didn't actually get the face to face.
No, that would have been
Okay, yeah.
amazing. I would
Because
have
I
just
was
been
gonna
like
ask
this.
you, I was gonna ask you if you had any behind the scenes moments that still make you laugh or but you didn't meet them. So but
No,
it's still great
sadly,
that you
didn't.
it's still great that you got to work with them. To be honest with you, you know.
Yeah, interesting that. I've worked with a person who's worked with the Spice Girls and a group that were big over here called S Club 7.
Okay,
He wrote one of their songs, and he produced a few of my early tracks for me during COVID, and I learned a lot from him. And if I could afford it, I'd work with him again because he's just so good and he really knows his stuff, Simon Ellis. And I just thought someone of that caliber wanted to work with me, so maybe I should continue even
yeah,
if I can't work with him. And so I looked around a bit and I found a local producer called Harbour Master, and I work with him a lot. I go in with all my tracks ready. I've got the mix at the levels I want, and I just sort of say, I'm only here to really get it mastered and get like the levels the way I want,
yeah.
and get more professional vocals because I don't have room for a proper vocal booth here.
Right, right,
It's
yeah,
only a small
yeah. Right.
little
Yeah.
bedroom we use in the
Small
house.
room, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to make do with what you have. Okay, so before we let you go, I would like to do some fun questions with you. Okay. So here we go. Here's all the fun
Great, yeah.
questions. All right. So if you could remix any non-dance track, like say like a country, like classical piece or a pop song, which song would you choose and why?
Oh, I think, oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. There's so many good songs out there.
I know,
I
right?
think I would love, oh, maybe a Janet Jackson track from the 80s, because I
Ooh,
used to love Rhythm Nation 1814.
yeah.
Um,
That's still one of the best
or-
albums that she's ever made. I mean, personally,
yeah, you're right.
classic.
You're right.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could improve on Perfection there. I think it
Oh,
would be, I'd probably do a track by my favorite group, the Brand New Heavies, and I'd try and get it a bit more dancey and a bit more funky and
right,
a bit more contemporary because the music is amazing. And I've been to the concerts 3 times and have audiences dancing, people in wheelchairs moving around all over the place, people who are blind, people who are old, people who are young, people of all backgrounds,
right,
standing in just unified in just enjoyment of their insanity on stage. And I wanted to sort of capture that in an upbeat kind of dancey kind of beat. They've done some of that.
right.
But I'd love to do one of their tracks. Like, oh, there was one song they did called Forever. I'd maybe do that as a trip hop song because that was a lovely slow song they did.
Right.
Yeah, that maybe. Mm.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, you really can't pick one. You gotta pick two or three.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
it
awesome.
is difficult.
Yeah, very difficult. Okay. So let's just say, you're stranded in an island. We're gonna do one island questions, okay? You're stranded in
Yeah,
a
okay.
desert island with only one synth, one drum machine, and one song to loop forever. Which song would that be?
The song I would loop forever would be it's one of two. There's a song by Jeanne from the 90s called Everything Happens for a Reason, but I'd be miserable all the time listening to that because it's quite sad.
Yeah.
Or it would be David Guetta and Khalees's song, 4th of July, because it's such a good song, really funky vibe, and like a doof, 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 doof dance beat.
Yeah.
So no matter how knackered I was on the island, I'd be up there dancing.
Maybe somebody will hear it and save you. Who knows?
Start a little nightclub over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. What's over there? Who knows? Let's go see. Awesome.
Yeah, that
Awesome.
music sounds cool. Let's just go over there and
All
join
right,
in.
let's
Yeah.
go inspect. And maybe we'll bring him back to the land or something. So all right. Is there any kind of festival or like a Woodstockish, you know, festival that you would love to do still?
I'd like to break into more like bigger festivals.
Yeah,
I mean, I headlined Raise Up Fest round here last year, but I'd love to play at a lot more local ones. I would absolutely love to play at Hardwick Festival around here,
yeah.
but there's an electronic one they do in Newcastle I'm trying to break into.
Ooh,
But I would love to be on one of the stages at Glastonbury. That would just blow me away.
hey, anything's possible, man. You know, we'll try to get you there. You know,
Thank you
who
very
knows?
much.
Yeah, yeah.
Helps.
Right. We hope, right? So, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do like a rapid fire thing. Okay, this or
Yep.
that. Coffee or tea? We use a tea. We don't do coffee around you, right? Coffee is not
Yep.
a thing, right? Yeah. So
I'm a
tea,
big tea fiend.
tea. Yeah. I do need to learn how to make good tea because all of our tea here is sweet tea because I'm in the South, South Carolina. So
Yes.
yeah, but I need to know what tea is good to get, because there's so many tea all over the world. Who knows?
There's all sorts. It depends what you want. I mean, I go to a place in York called the Hebden Bridge Tea Company, I think they call it, and they do one that tastes like Turkish delight, then they do one that smells like chocolate and coconut. They do one that's like chocolate orange and all sorts, and
Yeah.
then they do all the traditional ones as well. It depends if you like strong and bitter or you like smooth. There's all sorts of flavors.
I don't think I would just do strong and bitter. Me it's just like smooth, like because I don't really like alcohol. So it's
Yeah,
kind of like harsh for me. So, but I never had beer, so I mean that could be, but I don't know. So I don't know what I'm trying to say. All right,
I'm
but
a big alcohol fan myself now.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, I just can't stand that backfire taste. It gets me every time. So
yeah,
okay.
the hangovers are real
Hey,
big.
thank to God I never had a hangover before, and I don't want it because I've seen my friends all hangovers. Not good, not good.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
I have to have a full English breakfast and about three of these cups of tea if I've got a hangover. But I don't
right,
drink anymore really, so I'm too
yeah,
busy.
but good man. Don't start now, okay? All right, so okay, so vinyl, CD, or streaming, which one would you prefer?
Streaming is easier to carry, but
Right, yeah,
vinyl all the way.
vinyl,
There's
yeah.
just
I got
something
a lot
beautiful
of
about
vinyl.
vinyl.
Yeah.
Have you got a big vinyl
I
collection?
do. I do. It's getting pretty massive, so I need to lay back and get me some CDs. It's streaming's okay, but then again, the artist doesn't get nothing from streaming. It seems like it's all
Yeah.
about CDs and vinyl. So I
Yeah, I
encourage
tend to sell a lot
everybody
of
to buy.
CDs.
I encourage everybody to buy physical stuff. And I'm sure and I'm positive you have stuff on your website too that people can actually purchase and.
Yeah, I mean, people can download my tracks, but when I go out
Yeah.
and do gigs, I sell my album, Savage Times, and I sell two of my EPs as well that way.
Yeah.
Um, and I have like t-shirts and like little pin badges and stuff too.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So what is your biggest musical pet peeve? What don't you like in the business? I know there's got to be a lot, but what's
Oh,
the one? Yeah.
my biggest one is some of the music snobbery that you get because I work on my tracks at home and then I take everything out on a laptop. You see all these bands setting up and they go, he's not a real musician.
Right.
And I'm thinking, hang on, yes, I am. There's musicality in what you do, but there's musicality in what I do. And I had a heated discussion with someone about this once, and I said,
Mm.
said, I can respect what you do, so why can't you respect what I do? Just because it's different, and I'm not doing that. And it means sometimes that some of the promoters are stuck in a rut of like guitars and acoustic bands all the time. And I've spoken with a couple of venues recently that are sick of the same old thing all the time.
Yeah.
And I thought, hallelujah, you wanted to hear something different. And so I did a gig. I was booked in for a gig the other day because it had a lot of acoustic artists. When they heard I was coming in to do house music and dance music, the place was packed, and I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah.
Well, it
Right. Yeah.
was-
Like,
yeah,
yeah. There's so many different. Well, like, music is art, and art is always subjective, I guess.
that's
Um,
true. Yes,
yeah. So
definitely.
I guess you can't win everybody's respect. But then
It's true.
again, that
Mm.
person you talked to was very, very close-minded, you know. So
There's a few that, but hey.
yeah, yeah. Um, when you ever go have fun on a night out, and you go to a karaoke bar, what's your favorite karaoke song that you like to sing?
Oh,
Oh, oh,
I'm on tube with two friends singing it. Don't You Want Me Baby by the Human League? We do
yes.
that.
Don't you? Oh man, that's great. Yeah, I love that answer. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
do like
awesome.
this karaoke bit, and two of my mates stand there and they do the thing the girls did with the dance, and they just mess
Right.
around.
Yeah.
And we're on YouTube somewhere.
Oh,
Luckily not for
oh, it's on you. Oh, okay. Oh, I can't find you. Damn it. I hope
Could
I
be
can find you
blackmailed
so I
with
can.
that.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, definitely that.
Nice.
Mm.
Right. Oh. Oh, we do have two more songs, but I do want to thank you for coming on. This has been an amazing chat for me. And I hope you like this chat too, you know. So
It's been fabulous. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and it's been great to
sure.
talk to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come back anytime you want to. But we do have two more questions before we're there to go.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go back to Mark's house back when he was 14, 15, 16, high school days, okay?
Yeah.
We're looking around your room. Is there any musical posters on your wall? And if so, which ones are we looking at right now?
Yeah. We had Janet Jackson. We had a big Marilyn Monroe picture.
Yeah.
We had Emotion because I like their song Obsession.
Mhm.
And there was a Hall and Oates poster as well because I love them.
Like follow notes. Yeah.
And a Human League poster.
Yeah. Nice. All good stuff, you know. All good stuff, right? So, my last question is going to be the hardest question I've asked for you today, and you might knock it out of the park, you know, because a lot of musicians I ask this question always do. Um, so
Maths then
okay,
will not get
all right, right, we'll see, right? Yeah, yeah, okay. So,
it.
um, what artist, album, or song that you can listen to right now? But you can't tell me or anybody else how it makes you feel deep inside your soul.
um,
Or do you even have one that you can't really, you know, tell people how much it means to you, the song or the artist?
I think, yeah, for me, it's, I mentioned it earlier. It's a song called, well, actually, no, I think it's an, the, I watched a film with my mum a while ago, and the music's by John Barry, and it's a classical piece almost. And
Yeah,
it's from a film called Somewhere in Time. And the whole premise of it and the beauty of the music just really gets me all the time. And within minutes, myself, my partner, or my mum, whenever we hear it, we're
yeah,
crying.
yeah,
And it's all about a man who falls in love with someone from a different time, and he goes back in time to fall in love with her. They get separated. She dies, and he dies of a broken heart in the future, and then she's waiting for him up in heaven. And I'm
yeah.
filling up now just thinking of it. And it's
Oh,
all about undying love and romance, and I'm a big sucker for all of that. It's
oh yeah,
proper chick flick kind of thing, but the music is stunning. It's so beautiful. I had it at a wedding. Mm.
yeah. Well, that's well. So some songs just describe you by a part and just tugs on it, you know, so much where you can't even. I mean, yeah, I mean, really, you can't explain it to me how it makes you feel, and that's what I wanted. So yeah, so awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. So everybody listening, you can go to Mark MARQ
Yep,
electronica.com. And
yep,
like you said before, you can download his music, and if you go
yep.
see live, you can buy his album. Um, that would be uh
My music on Songwhip. Just Google Songwhip Mark Electronica, all one word,
right.
or just Linktree Mark Electronica, and that will get you all the links to all my media and everything.
And Savage Times is his album out right now. Get
Yeah,
that
the album's been out a while now, and I've had some recent tracks since then, but I wanted to focus on this again a bit more because I don't think it got
right.
the
And I
hearing it deserves.
see, and I see you've been teasing some new releases for October, November. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm
Come
quite
on,
excited
dude.
about
All
them.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what mood can this new song or album be without spoiling anything at all?
It's very contemporary. It's very.
Okay.
Some of it, imagine David Guetta for some of the tracks.
Okay.
Imagine
Yeah.
um, imagine some deep house kind of moody vibes for others. Then imagine some moody trip hop and grime for the others. I've tried to sort of mix all the genres I'm listening to a bit, and I've done some soft trap kind of music, which is quite dark but funky
Yeah. Nice.
as well.
Nice. Can't wait to hear it, man. You gotta send it to me or something, you know? So, yeah,
Well, I'll send you some more music on.
sure. Oh yeah, dude. All right. So we do love you here at when we're chilling. We beg you to come back anytime you want to.
Love to.
Now, are you gonna be doing any USA tours? Because if so, I can probably meet you sometime soon. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, to be honest, I would love to. I would love to. So I'm looking into trying to get some work abroad.
Okay.
Um,
Great.
I've got to renew my passport. I didn't realize
Right.
how
Well, yeah.
irregular it is. So I'm just in the middle of sorting that out now. And then I'm looking at getting some work abroad. So you never know. It will be nice. But yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm limited with the travel at the minute because of my care for my mother.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you have a lot of fans here that would love to see you live, and just chat with you one on one, and or I don't know.
Well, a lot of my streams, when I look at it, come from Brazil, USA, and Germany.
Yeah,
And
right.
it's diverse, but they're the main places where my music seems to be well accepted.
Yeah,
Mm.
nice, nice. Well, like I said before, we honestly love you here, and come back anytime you want to. Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you for coming on. And with that said, everybody, thank you so much for listening, and always remember, when words fail, music speaks. Bye, guys.
Definitely. Bye.